What if the most dangerous part of retirement is not a market crash, not taxes, and not even running out of money, but slowly realizing that the same income that once felt comfortable now feels tight, then stressful, and eventually insufficient? What if nothing dramatic happens at all? No headlines, no panic, just groceries costing more, insurance creeping higher, and everyday life quietly shrinking your freedom year after year. This is inflation, not as a theory, but as a lived experience. And this is the risk annuities are designed to help manage, yet rarely explain this way. Most people understand inflation intellectually. They assume a number, maybe 3%, and move on. But annuities force inflation into real terms because annuities are about income, not balances. Once income starts, it must support real life for decades. Inflation is not loud. It does not announce itself. It shows up in renewals, receipts, and medical bills. And without income planning, it permanently reshapes retirement. Imagine someone retiring at age 65 with a guaranteed annuity income of $3,000 per month. On day one, life feels stable. Housing, groceries, insurance, utilities, and transportation total about $2,600. There is margin, there is confidence, the income works. 10 years later, at age 75, inflation has quietly changed everything. At 3% annually, costs are roughly 34% higher. Groceries rise from $600 to about $800. Insurance moves from $400 to $600. Healthcare accelerates faster than average inflation. The same lifestyle now costs closer to $3,500 per month. The annuity still pays $3,000. Nothing failed. The guarantee worked exactly as promised, but purchasing power shrank. By age 85, the problem becomes emotional. That same $3,000 has the buying power of roughly $1,660 in today's dollars. After 30 years, it feels closer to $1,200. The annuity income did not disappear. Its usefulness did. This is why annuities must be designed with inflation in mind. A single fixed income stream is not a strategy. It is only a starting point. On its own, fixed income may feel reassuring at the beginning of retirement, but comfort at 65 does not guarantee comfort at 75 or 85. Without adjustment, that same income quietly loses its ability to support real life as prices rise year after year. Inflation does not require dramatic market events to cause damage. It works slowly through higher grocery bills, rising insurance premiums, increasing healthcare costs, and everyday expenses that no longer fit the original plan. An annuity that pays the same amount forever can still fail its purpose if it was not structured to account for this reality. The problem is not the guarantee. The problem is assuming one guarantee will work equally well across decades. This is where thoughtful annuity design matters. Income can be layered, timed, and coordinated so that future payments begin later, when inflation has done the most damage. Instead of relying on one paycheck for life, retirees can create income phases that reflect how spending changes over time. Early retirement may require less healthcare and more activity. Later retirement often requires more stability and medical support. Annuities used this way do not fight inflation directly. They manage its impact on daily life. And that difference determines whether retirement simply lasts or actually remains livable. Now consider two retirees who both retire at 65 with $750,000. One relies entirely on portfolio withdrawals. The other uses annuities intentionally. The first withdraws 4%, about $30,000 per year. Inflation forces that withdrawal higher every year. Market volatility creates stress because withdrawals cannot stop. Inflation compounds pressure. The second retiree allocates $300,000 to annuities. One annuity begins immediately, paying $1,800 per month. Another is deferred to start at age 75, paying $1,200 per month. A third begins at 85, adding $800 per month. The remaining assets stay invested. 10 years later, inflation has risen, but income has risen too. Not because markets cooperated, but because annuity income was layered. Expenses increased, income adapted. This is how annuities address inflation in real life. Not by trying to beat it, not by chasing higher returns, and not by pretending inflation can be ignored. They address it by matching income to time. That distinction matters, because inflation does not arrive all at once, and retirement is not one single phase of life. Inflation hits retirement unevenly. The early years of retirement are often active. People travel, spend more on experiences, and enjoy the freedom they worked decades to earn. Healthcare costs are usually manageable and energy is high. In this phase, income does not need to be excessive, it needs to be reliable. The middle years look different. Spending becomes more cautious, travel slows, priorities shift, insurance premiums rise, property taxes increase, maintenance costs add up. Expenses do not explode, but they creep higher. This is where many retirees begin to feel pressure. The same income that once felt comfortable now feels tighter, even though lifestyle has not become extravagant. Late retirement is where inflation becomes unforgiving. Healthcare costs accelerate, prescription expenses rise. In-home care, assisted living, or medical support may become necessary. Costs that once seemed distant become unavoidable. This is where inflation does the most damage, not because markets failed, but because income never adapted. A single fixed annuity payment ignores this reality. It assumes retirement is flat, predictable, and evenly paced. Life is not. A layered annuity plan respects how retirement actually unfolds. Instead of relying on one income stream forever, income is structured in phases. One stream supports early retirement. Another begins later when inflation has eroded earlier purchasing power. Additional income may activate in advanced years, when stability matters more than flexibility. Without this planning, retirees often respond emotionally. They cut back slowly at first. Travel becomes maybe next year. Social activities shrink. Gifts and help for family feel risky. Eventually, spending decisions are driven by fear instead of choice. The retirement plan may still exist on paper, but life becomes constrained in practice. With layered annuity income, spending becomes intentional instead of reactive. Retirees know future income increases are scheduled. They know support arrives later, not by chance, but by design. They are not guessing whether their income will still work. They are not reacting to rising costs with panic. They are adjusting calmly around a structure that already anticipated change. This is purchasing power survival. It is not accumulation. It is not market protection. It is dignity. It is the ability to live normally, confidently, and independently even as time passes and costs rise. Inflation is the most patient enemy of retirement. It does not announce itself. It does not crash markets. It quietly erodes comfort until ordinary life feels harder than it should. Annuities do not eliminate inflation. They organize around it. They turn time from a threat into a framework. When income is planned to evolve with life, retirement stops shrinking and starts working the way it was meant to. And that is the difference between a retirement that simply lasts and one that actually works. A retirement that merely lasts is measured in years. A retirement that works is measured in quality of life. One survives on calculations and hope. The other is built around how life actually unfolds as time passes, costs rise, and priorities change. When inflation is ignored, income slowly loses its ability to support everyday living. Nothing dramatic happens at first. The bills still get paid. The account balances still exist. But choices begin to narrow. Comfort turns into caution. Flexibility turns into hesitation. Over time, retirees adjust their lives downward without ever making a conscious decision to do so. This is how inflation quietly steals freedom. Understanding this early changes everything. It allows income to be planned as a living system instead of a fixed number. It allows annuities to be used intentionally, not as static payments, but as tools that evolve alongside real expenses. When income is structured to adapt over time, retirees stop reacting to rising costs and start anticipating them. Confidence replaces uncertainty, and decisions are made calmly instead of defensively. If this explanation helped you truly understand how inflation affects retirement income in real life, why fixed income can quietly lose its power over time, and how annuities can be structured to adapt as life changes, then take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who is planning for retirement. Clear planning leads to confident decisions, and more practical education on annuities, retirement income, and real-world financial strategies is coming.